Up, everybody. Welcome to episode 38 of Beyond the Finish Line, a running podcast that dives deep into the stories that transcend far beyond the distance. I'm your host, Joe Hardin. I'm a passionate trail and ultra distance enthusiast myself. Whether you're an elite, a back of the pack grinder, or somewhere in between, this is your space to learn, grow, and get inspired. Today we have my friend Joey Metzger. Joey is an ultra runner, a podcast host for one of my favorite podcasts, Running Behind Podcast, creator of Run Joey Run on YouTube. I love his YouTube channel too, by the way. Just an all-around fun guy to get to know. I was recently, a few months ago, on his show. I had a lot of fun chatting with Joey. I've had a lot of fun following Joey and getting further after I was on his show. All-around good guy. I'm really excited to have him on this show. But before we bring Joey forward for this chat, friends of the pod, huge solid. Like, share, rate, review the podcast. If you feel so inclined, give me a 5-star review. That'd be most appreciated. And if you don't want to give me a 5-star review, let me know. Tell me what I can do to make my podcast better. I'll be glad to do so. And something really cool that you can do on Spotify now that I really love is you can comment on the podcast. That's one of my favorite things. It's so cool. Continue after the show and getting all these cool comments and questions and feedback from the show. I really dig that. All of those things that you can do would be greatly appreciated, and everyone at the Everyday Athlete Podcast Network. So please do so. But without further ado, let's bring Joey forward for this great chat. Let's get to know Joey better. What is up?
Hello,
Joey. Hey, how's it going?
It is going great. Like I said, I'm tickled to be here. I'm a little nervous to be on this side of the microphone.
Yeah, it's weird, right? Like when I was on your show, I was just like, what do I do? What do I say? Like, it's almost like, what do I do with my hands now that I'm on the other side of the mic? So it's
exactly.
Cool. Yeah. So getting two podcasters together in the same room, virtually, I guess, is a rarity because we're always busy and we've got, we're always trying to chase after the next interview. It was really cool to have you on. Like I said, it was an honor to be on your show. I show ever since. It's one of my favorite pods. So getting you on my show, cool full circle moment for me. And I'm sure you know this question is coming. Like I do with every guest, I like to ask, who is Joey Metzger?
Yeah, I've listened to your pod. I listened to the pod, so I know the question. Does that mean I'm prepared? Heck no, I'm probably. But I was thinking about it, Joe, and I thought, who am I? And it's funny. A lot of what I'm going to say has nothing to do with ultra running, and you get that probably from some of your guests. But I am, the first thing I would say to define me is I'm an optimist. And I talk about this in one of my early podcasts. There was a moment, like you had your moment. Was it December 19th? I'm trying to remember the day, but I had a moment in time. Yeah. Where it wasn't, to that level. I wasn't dealing with alcoholism or nothing, but there was a drive where like literally something snapped and I decided to be an optimist. And that was 40 years ago almost. So I am an optimist. I am a creative person early on, and I still try to do a little bit of theatrical stuff when I can. I'm waiting until I retire, and then I'm getting back on stage, guys. I'm making a comeback. So I am an optimist. I am a creator. I do like to jog and run a little bit and try some silly long races that I have no business getting into. Hence, that's why I'm here in the ultra running world. But that's a small part of me. I am a dog lover. I am a husband. I enjoy work when the work is rewarding. So yeah, that's kind of me. I would say first and foremost, I am an optimist.
If you want to share, was that something that happened over time? Was that like a moment that you had? You're like, all right, it was like, what made that happen? Can you actually like put a pin in that time or?
Yeah, I can. So I'll give a little background for your audience. So this would have been in 1988, I think. I was going to college in Grand Forks and I had flunked out of college. I was working a night job at Hardee's and then I was working the graveyard shift at a restaurant. and was barely making ends meet, having a hell of a time. I don't know how much detail you want, but there was a point where I got arrested and taken into jail for, first it was parking tickets, and then it was failure to appear in court, and all this crazy stuff was going on. And I was just in a really dark place. And I couldn't see what my future was, had no idea. I had a sister who still lived in Minot, North Dakota, where I'm originally from. And I was driving back there one time, and I don't know if I was already contemplating about like just moving in with her and her family, her husband and kids at the time, and like starting over. I don't know if I had contemplated that at that point or not, but there was something. It was the middle of February. It was really cold. I was driving this beat up car, barely made it to Minot. I was going there for the weekend, and somewhere on that drive, I just, something in my brain clicked. I don't know why. I still to this day don't know why. And I said, I am going to see the glass half full. I'm just going to, there's no reason why. I'm just going to see the glass half full. And it was, I don't know, it's kind of like a gift I was given, I guess. And not to say that I don't get down, I don't get depressed. Of course I do. We all do. But I am, at my core, I'm always trying to look at things on the brighter side. Some of my philosophies are assume positive intent. I kind of try
Ooh.
to live by that. And my other philosophy, and this is probably on my LinkedIn profile, is leap and the net will appear. Kind of the two things I live by are those two philosophies. And so, yeah, this was in 1988. So how long ago was that? I don't have my calculator out. That's like
Okay.
almost 40 years ago, right?
I ran out of fingers.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like 37 years ago, come this February. And back in the day, I used to write a lot of music, do acoustic shows and stuff. I wrote a song called February Drive. I'll have to see if I can find a link to that somewhere. But yeah, I wrote a
Yeah.
song about it.
Oh
So,
yeah. I got to hear this. That's amazing.
oh, I don't know. It's not that good of a song, but yeah, it was just a moment. I don't know why it happened, and I don't know why it stuck for almost 40 years, but it has. So
Oh, I love that. What was the quote? Leap and the net appears.
leap and the net will appear. And it's
The net will
actually
appear.
from, I wish I created that. It's from a book called The Artist's Way, and
Okay.
it's about artists, but a lot of my actor friends in the 90s, we were all like, that was our Bible. That one, and there was Uta Hagen's like acting book. Those were our Bibles. And there was a quote in The Artist's Way that I read and stuck with me, and that was leap and the net will appear. And it's all about, it's like what you and I do when we do these ultra trail races. We sign up for the Vol State 500K, before we really think about what the hell we're going to do. We just leap. And for me, it's also a choice in life. It's kind of like saying yes. I meet a lot of people, like we talked about Tim Tollefson. He's one of those people who just says yes. I want to be one of those people who just leaps, and then net will appear. Just say yes. You're going to get so much more out of life if you say yes than if you just say no to everything.
Absolutely. That's been kind of what my drive, like my ethos has been lately. It's just like I don't know if I'll be able to do it or even if I know how to do it, but I will figure it. Like I'm going to go for it and figure it out. So that I guess that rings with me. Like, it kind of hits with me lately because that's been like my kind of common theme lately. It's like I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this, but I'm sure as hell gonna try. So I love that
Yeah.
idea. Like you just like take a leap and just go for it, and like eventually you figure it out
Yep.
or you won't, and you'll learn a lesson. So I love
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Optimist. I
Yeah.
love that. I was gonna ask you the question you always ask people on your show is
Sure.
one question to describe who you are as a person, but I feel like you covered that, but I want to flip that question to you. And
Yeah.
I guess I'm interested in what that word would be.
One word that describes me as a person.
Yeah.
I think you guessed it. It's got to
Yeah, I
be
guess
optimist, right?
optimist. I
I
love that.
I mean, it's got to be optimist. There's a couple of ones, but it's really got to be an optimist.
So,
Uh,
something that you said is you were in the theater as a kid. Tell me about that.
yeah. So, I grew up with five older sisters in Minot, North Dakota, and I've said this on my podcast. I was never athletic. I got into athletics more as an adult than I did as a kid. I was on track one year in high school and I was so slow they stuck me on the 2-mile race where I came in pretty much last every time. But I finished every race, Joe. I finished every race. Um, but so I wasn't into sports really. I was a nerd. I was totally a nerd. My sisters were all older than me, so I was kind of on my own a lot, and I was a nerd. So I got into, what do nerds get into? I was on the physics team. I was on the debate team. I love debate. When I got on the debate team, I was like, oh, I like this. I like talking, hence, future podcast. I like talking. I like, bringing up facts and researching, and it's kind of performing. So I did that. Somebody said, you're really good, at the whole speaking thing. Maybe you should be on the speech team. So then I joined the speech team and I ended up starting to do dramatic pieces on the speech team. And I was like, oh, this is fun. Well, somebody saw me do that and they're like, you should try out for the theater. So I'm a senior in high school. I try out for the senior play. I get the lead role. And I'm like, well, shit, this is it. This is where, like sometimes it's like you're trying to figure out, you're good at stuff. I'm not good at sports. I'm, pretty good at debate. I was pretty good at speech. I got on the stage and I was like goosebumps. I was like, yeah, this is what I was meant to do.
That's it.
And so I pursued that and then went to college. And then you heard part of that story. I went to college not for theater. I went for physics, computer science, flunked out, worked at Hardee's, ended up writing a song about February Drive where I became an optimist, and then got back into theater and did that through my next kind of college phase, and then moved to Minneapolis where I am now for theater. So I moved down here to be a professional actor. And then, Joe, I figured out that they don't pay actors actually a lot. There's very few Robert De Niro's that actually get paid. So I did that for a few years, made a meager living, ended up getting a real job. My best friend, he and I always talk about it. It's like we both are actors, love acting, we love the theater, we love doing films, all of that. But we realized early on that we liked having an apartment and a car that runs. And, and so I got a real job and I still do it occasionally when I can. I'm hoping when I retire, I'll have a little bit more time to do that. But yeah, so I still love the theater, but it's just, just couldn't make a living at it. I couldn't. Now I've got friends that made, pretty good names for themselves. A buddy of mine was on Grey's Anatomy. He and I competed for a lot of roles down here. A
Oh,
friend of
cool.
mine, Mo Collins, she's done a lot of stuff, including Fear the Walking Dead and things like that. But I was never willing to live in my car in LA and starve, trying to make it. So that's where I ended up here, corporate job.
That is that is cool though. Funny fun fact, I was on the debate team too.
You were
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, I
So
I got to ask you a debate question, Joe. Was it policy or Lincoln Douglas? There's two kinds.
yeah, it was we did policy and then like
Okay.
I forgot what else I had. I forgot what I like at the time. Like, what's funny is how I got into the debate team was I would argue with my he's like my English comp teacher. I would argue with him constantly. He's like, you should be in the. He's like, you will just not cave, will you? I was like, I will ride the ship to the bottom before I admit I should be on the debate team. So yes, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That we were both on the debate team. That's funny. Drama club. I did drama
Yeah.
club for a
It
little bit
was
too, but
Oh, cool. Very nice.
yeah,
Yeah, we don't have kids. If I ever did, or if I was ever mentoring kids, I would tell them, guys, it sounds weird, but the debate team is a lot of fun. And it literally changed my life. It brought me into so many things. It gave me confidence. That's how I first learned
yeah.
to speak in front of people. And I know you've talked about how, doing the podcast has really helped you, but I bet early on doing the debate probably gave you some confidence too to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. It absolutely did. Yeah. Surely the podcast has been a huge help too. But yeah, the early debate. I mean, it really helped me come out of my shell. And how hard it is in high school to come out of your shell. It can be
Yeah.
a brutal, brutal time of your life in those 4 years. But
Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's something I guess I didn't know about you. So that's really neat. So are you like, do you still dabble in theater at all, or is it just like a love that you have right now, or?
It's a love I have. I don't not on the stage so much. I haven't probably in maybe 5 years since I've done a stage show here in Minneapolis. Um, I definitely want to. They are a huge time commitment. They, month, 2 months of rehearsal, a month of performances. I work, like a lot of us, I work a full-time job. My job right now is so intense and just don't have the time, but I would love to do it. I do now. I haven't done it in a while. My buddy and I, we would make movies, little 7-minute movies and stuff for film festivals and things like that. And that was always a lot of fun because we could go for a weekend, film the whole thing, be done, write it, film it. But I haven't done any of those in a while. My YouTube channel, that's my film outlet, but I've
It's your
done a
film.
ton of filming this year, Joe, but I have no films to show for it. I've got hours of footage in the can and I just haven't had time to edit it. So too busy podcasting now.
Too busy. Yeah, it's a time commitment. Well, cool.
It
I
is.
guess the YouTube channel does scratch that itch for you. Something I keep thinking about doing myself. I just haven't. One step at a time, right? I'll host a podcast maybe
Yeah.
eventually. People want to, but well,
You
cool.
you should I
Yeah.
you don't you have a degree in filmmaking, right?
No, no, no,
You have
no,
some I thought you had a background in photography or filmmaking or something, right? Photography.
no, no. Photography is just something I love. I love a lot. No,
Oh, okay.
no.
Well, I
Yeah,
think you've got an eye
not
for
here.
it. I love your little Instagram shorts you do with the music and the funky filters on. You've definitely got the eye for it. So I remember the first YouTube running film I made was a trail race. My buddies Eric and Mario are gonna run it back next year, Storm the Park. It's down in southern Minnesota at this beautiful little whitewater state park. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I had my phone on a gimbal and the gimbal busted halfway through. It took me 7 hours to go 18 miles. And I was just kind of a shit show. But I made a little movie out of it. And I sent it to I sent it to Dylan Bowman, Free Trail, and I
Oh,
said,
cool.
"Hey, I just want you to know you really inspired me. I love Free Trail. I love the films you guys and Ryan are doing." And he was so nice, Joe. He responded back and he was just like, "Oh, that's great." I had a Free Trail hat on that I had like handmade like before they had Free Trail hats. And he was like, "I like the hat." So that encouraged me. So then I was making some more, but I haven't had a chance in 2025 yet to get anything together. But I definitely think you should
Hey,
I
you
think you
will.
should get
There'll be
into it.
some.
What's that?
Yeah. Yeah, photography was just something that, during COVID, I needed stuff to do, so I
Yeah.
took, like, a big deep dive into, like, photo composition and, like, how to set up shots and, like, all that stuff, so it was just something I don't really know why I got so into photography, but, I'm glad I had a lot of fun, but I don't get
Yeah.
my actual camera out much anymore, but, so a lot of my photos are, like, iPhone photos lately, but yeah,
Yeah.
so
Well,
thank you for that.
these days iPhones are some of the best cameras. Obviously, for you film guys, you've got your tools and equipment that you really like, but you could do a lot with an iPhone these days too. So, did you take classes then
Yeah.
during COVID? You took actual like online classes?
Yeah, well, I did take some courses in college, and then I basically did, like, just YouTube stuff, like, YouTube college for photography. It doesn't mean I'm any good at it. I'm good at editing, maybe not good
Yeah.
at taking the pictures.
Can I send you my
Well,
stuff to
cool,
edit then, Joe? Is that what I'm hearing? Is that what I'm hearing?
oh, yeah. Alright.
I'll send you a zip
Just in
drive and
case we
just
need
say,
more
put
stuff to
something
do, right?
together. Yeah. Uh, yeah. I wish
So
I
have
had.
you
I mean, go ahead.
oh, go ahead, Joey, sorry. No, I'm just
No,
like,
that's what happens when we have
go
two
ahead, I'll
podcasters.
ask a
We
question.
both want to ask questions. I'm gonna let you talk, Joe.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the guest.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop talking now.
No, I guess I'm just curious how, how all these pieces tying together to obviously like your YouTube channel, but how do you go from drama debate team, sorry, theatrics to Joey Metzger, who is now hosting running behind, who's an ultra runner, who has a running YouTube channel. Connect those dots for us, because big jump there,
Yeah.
and I guess I'm infinitely curious
Yeah,
about that.
it's yeah, if you don't mind a story or two, because it's a ways to get there. But um I guess that's why you have me on, because I like to chat. So here we go.
Heck yeah.
But like I said, in high school, I was not very athletic. College, not athletic. I didn't start even working out till I turned 40. When I turned 40, I was going through a divorce, and I was at a job where we had a fitness center. So I would, go lift weights, and I'd run on the treadmill for 10 minutes exactly. And that was it. That was the extent of my running. It was just to get me warmed up so I could lift weights. And I did that for about 10 plus years. That's how I met my wife, by the way. She came in to manage that fitness center, and that's how we met. But
Oh
and
wow.
then when a little after I turned 50, the job I was at, they did like a 5K for work in the middle of the week. And I was like, "Oh, I think I can run 3 miles." And of course, I take off and I'm like, I'm gonna beat all these suckers. I'm in good shape. And I got about a mile in, and I was like, okay, I think I'm done. I think I'm done. And I just, I had to walk the last couple of miles. But I got done, and I said, you know what? Here's the deal. I'm gonna run a 5K every week. Try to do one 5K every week. Still do my little jogs on the treadmill to warm up. So I kind of started with that. And Oh, boy, it wasn't until 2019, I think, is when I started like doing a couple of 5Ks a week, or try to do a long run on the weekends. Cause then I started to think, like we all do, we all start running and we're like, oh, I should try do a half marathon. Right? It's never enough to just do a 5K. I mean, it's like, the first one's free and then you're hooked. So we do these 5Ks, and then it's like, I should try do a half marathon. And now, mind you, I'm married to my wife, Erin. She doesn't run anymore. She's had several knee surgeries, and right now it's just not really possible for her to pick up running again, but she's very fit, very active, does her workouts and things. But she used to be, Joe, a really good, she'll probably say, no, I wasn't, but she was. She was a very good marathoner. She was a Boston qualifier, qualified twice. Um, and if her knees would have held out, she could still be cranking out Boston qualifying times today. So, I knew that about her, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm never going to run a marathon. That's ridiculous. People, I don't know who runs marathons, but let me try a half marathon. And so I got the Jeff Galloway run, walk, run method. And I'm like, okay. So on the weekends, I would work myself up to 10 miles. That takes a couple hours for a guy like me to go 10 miles. And I did my first half marathon. It's still my fastest half marathon. And I ran for 2 minutes, walked for a minute, ran for 2 minutes, walked for a minute. Mile 9, this is a familiar story. I got cramps so bad that it was like, I'm going to run for 30 seconds, walk for 2 minutes. But I finished it in, I think, under 2.5 hours, or right around two and a
Nice.
half hours. And that's still like probably one of my best road, marathon times. So I did that, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay, that's cool. I want to try another one again sometime. And then you start dreaming. Then you start going, well, shit, if I could do that twice as long, I've done a marathon. How cool would that be to say I've done a marathon? And so I'm thinking about that. And then we get this treadmill. It was really funny. I forget what year it was, maybe a year after I did the half marathon. I was doing a 10 mile, the Twin Cities 10-mile race. It's the same day as the Twin Cities Marathon, the one that Courtney Dauwalter just ran this year.
Oh
And
yeah.
I did that one year. My wife didn't. And she met me at the finish line, Joe. And it was so funny. There was no, good job, honey. Good job. She's like, I'm getting an effing treadmill. And because she wanted so bad, and she still does. And I think and I think she can. She's going to try to, I think, come back with me to Mammoth next year and maybe do the 26K. But so she's like, I think just saw me doing it and was like, dang, I missed that. So we got a Nordic track treadmill. And when I got on that thing, there's these videos of people running on trails. And I was like, holy crap. I didn't know you could. I thought you just hiked on trails. I didn't know you could jog on trails or run on trails. And it's, they're doing these long trail races and all these different things, and Tommy Ribs and Sally McRae and all these people. And I'm like, oh, trail running. So then I completely dismissed ever trying to do a marathon. I started to look for trail races in my area. And that fall, or the next fall, I signed up for what's called Surf the Murph. It's like a 17-mile loop, 2,000 feet of gain. And I got done and I was just like, oh, yeah, I like this. Because it was so cool because you naturally do the run, walk, run, because when I get to a hill, I'm no elite. I'm walking the hills. So I get to a hill, I'm walking it. I'm enjoying the hell out of the scenery and the leaves and the lakes. And I think Indiana's probably a lot like Minnesota, where we've got a lot of these cool foresty trails and little lakes and things. And I just love being out on the trails. So I'm like, this is it. This is great. So the next spring, that's when I made my first movie at Storm the Park, and the rest is history.
Okay.
Let's be honest though, Joe, I've only done one ultra marathon. I've only completed one. So all you guys that have done these 100Ks and attempted 100 milers and all this, I'm like, I'm barely legit. I'm not legit. I should quit. That should be my rhyme.
Not at all. You're still an ultra. You're a trail runner at heart. That's all that really matters.
I'm a trail run. I am an ultra marathoner. I did complete a 50K, and still today, that's one of my fastest paces on a long trail run. That 50K I did. I was just, everything was right. It was flat. I was trained right. It felt good. Didn't have any major problems. But I love it. I love ultra running. I love trail running. Even if I can't do it, I love talking to people, my friends and people like you. I just love following it. I love everything about it. It's just these beautiful areas we get to run in. It's such a gift.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think distance and pace, road running is a little bit different, as you know, but distance and pace and where you finish, it's relative in this sport. It doesn't matter. All that matters is like we all share this common love for this, amazing sport. Like, as you know, it's like there's a miracle every time you get to step out on the trail. It's like unbelievable that we get to do this thing. Like I always get swept up in that sometimes during my runs. I'm like, wow, like I get to like experience this. It's such a cool, yeah. I could go on forever about that love, but yeah.
It's so true, and that's one of the things. Like I did Mammoth this year, and spoiler alert, I got cut off because I'm too slow. But part of it, Joe, was literally I was running with a guy named Mark, and we every mile we'd stop and go. We'd have to film it. We just couldn't believe our eyes. And I was sending videos and photos to my buddies Eric and Mario, and they're like, this looks AI generated. This doesn't even look real. And I'm like, how cool we get to run in these places. But yeah, I absolutely love it. And the other thing I was going to say too, and you mentioned it, and it's so true. And I love that you do this too. It, and Jason too, everybody deserves a place. That is so true. And I remember maybe it was when I did my first half marathon, I think I said to somebody, what was your finish time? And somebody came up to me and said, you don't ask that. You say, how was your day? And so that stuck with me because I'm like, yeah, I don't care about my time. Why am I asking, how fast did you go? I mean, we do ask eventually. Sometimes even us slower people, we're like, how was your day? How'd you do? What was your pace? We're curious. But in my heart, what I want to know is, did you have a good day? Did you have a good experience? What was that like? What was your event like? How did you feel? I don't care if you're running 6-minute miles or 25-minute miles. Who cares?
Yeah, 100%. And I've noticed this recently. Like, I don't even think I can remember any of my finish times, but uh, I always kind of I figure what I really concerned about now, especially when I do as I go longer and longer, is like what did I learn like about myself? Because as you know, it's like as you run more and more, you're learning something new each training cycle, each mile, each milestone, and that's kind of what I want to focus on now with other people. Like, what do you learn about yourself? Like, because to me,
Yeah.
that's, we're all out there really doing incredible things. It doesn't matter how far you're going, but it's yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter if you're the
And
front or the back, and that's what I love about this sport so much. It doesn't really matter where you finish.
it doesn't, and those people at the front, Joe, they they don't really care how slow we are at the back either. They're so nice. That's what I love about the trail running community is that it's supportive from the front to the back. I mean, you and I are, we're at the back and we're very supportive of each other, but guess what? You know, Tim Tollefson and all these guys at the front, they want to see us succeed too. And they're always, how you doing? And encouraging. I said, just love it. My wife would
Yeah.
always say, when she do her marathon, she's like, yeah, I don't want people to freaking talk to me. Don't talk to me. I got my headphones on and nobody talks to each other. They just do their thing. And I think, some races it might be different, but it's kind of the road running mentality as you focus in, you put your earbuds in, you do your thing. On the trails, we're like, how you doing? How's it going? This is awesome, isn't it? It's just a little
Yeah,
bit different mentality.
something that's really funny that you said. You skipped the marathon too.
I
You went from
did.
half. I did the same thing. I think. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah,
Do
I'm
you
still. I
want to
still.
run a road marathon? Do you want to run one?
I. I kind of do. I think now. I don't like. I've been. Since hosting the podcast, I've had like more road runners on lately, off and
Yeah.
on. And I'm like, damn. I'm like, maybe I am marathon curious. I thought I was going to get a chance to pace a marathon this weekend, but I don't think that's going to happen. But I hopefully not now. It's only 2 days away. But
Yeah.
so I had been like marathon curious, but to your point, it's like how do I act at this? Like I'm so used to like aid
Right.
stations and like having a piece of pizza at an aid station or like
Yeah.
or
I
like
know.
pierogies or like I don't like
I
yeah, I guess
know.
it'll be weird. Like will I wear a vest at this marathon? I've been running with a vest for so long and
Same.
it'll be different kind of getting out of that mentality, I guess. But, and I'm like, as I said before to other people, I'm kind of afraid of the marathon actually a little bit. That's a lot of road. And I feel like
Mhm.
the pressure to maybe run faster will be this something that'll be forward with me. So it's a fear and I'm going to have to figure out how to conquer that fear. But so
Yeah.
I think that's cool. We both skipped that distance, but
Yeah. I'm kind of the same as you. I'm intrigued by it. I'm marathon intrigued a little bit. I don't know which one I would do. Of course, here in Minnesota, we've got the Twin Cities. We've got Grandma's. A lot of people love that one up at the North Shore. Um, yeah, I'm a little bit intrigued, but I'd have to find the right shoes because my knees these days, like, unless if my shoes are not good and I'm pounding on that pavement for 6 hours, my knees are gonna explode all over the pavement. Yeah. I guess I'm doing next year I'm doing a 24-hour
yeah.
race. And we'll have to talk about
Yeah,
timed
getting used to
races
road
because
is
I know
my
you
biggest struggle lately, getting ready for yeah, yeah.
for Vol State.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's been like my
Yeah,
biggest struggle
and
lately,
I want
training for
to
Vol State is running. Oh, sorry, Joey.
go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, just running all the roads has been like running all the roads has been so challenging lately. It's been to your point, like my knees are kind of taking a beating for this one, but
You recently just purchased the Mount to Coast. Are those the H1s, Joe?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I've just been
what do you
I've
think of them?
well, they'll be here Monday, so I guess I'll find out Monday.
Oh, you haven't got them yet. Okay.
Yeah.
My buddy Eric, he just bought them. He got them on Friday, and then on Saturday he ran the Twin Cities 10-mile race. And I'm like, you
Oh.
idiot, what are you doing? You've heard the rule. You don't try new gear. He's like, I know. He's like, I'll be fine. And we did our last podcast right after he finished the race, and he was like, they were golden. He's like, they were so comfortable, so cushy. So I'm tempted if I do, like next year, I'm going to do a 24-hour, which is on a little paved path around a lake. It's just a 2-mile loop and you do as many loops as you want. And I think I'm going to get a pair for that, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, you've got to run. Is Vol State well, you ask me questions, I'll ask you questions at the end. I have questions on Vol State. So
Okay. Yeah. So, to your point with the Mount Coast shoes, is I bought a pair of the S1s last year
mm.
and took them out of the box, put them on my feet, and ran 50 miles at a backyard in them with zero problems. Yeah.
Really?
I know
Oh
that's a
God.
I know that's a big gamble, but I was just like they got delayed in shipping and I had like wore through my shoes and I was like I don't have time to like break in another pair of shoes. Like the sole was coming off of my shoes. So I strapped those bad boys on and ran 50 miles with them and not a single foot problem. I can't say that out of any shoe I've ever owned so far. So it'd be exciting to get these H1s because they're a trail and road hybrid, which is
Yeah.
like if I could get away with not having to buy two pairs of shoes every other, like a trail shoe and a road shoe, like a few times a year, I'll speak high praise of Mount Coast for the foreseeable
Yeah.
future.
Yeah. I mean shoes are everything. I mean, the right shoe makes all the difference for me. I gotta have comfortable shoes. So
Yeah. You kind of go through your running journey. What at what point in time, you hit the trails, you're doing, you dive trail running. At what point in time where you're like, hey, I should host a podcast? So I'm kind of
yeah.
curious about your podcasting journey. As a fellow podcaster, I'm
Yep.
curious about your
Yeah.
podcasting journey.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess I should talk a little bit about the YouTube channel first because that came first. So, like I said, I did that first trail run, Surf the Murph. The next spring, I did Storm the Park. And what's inspiring me is probably what inspired you is watching, Ginger Runner movies and Billy Yang and all these great trail running movies that are being made. And they're inspiring me. And I'm like, I'm like, dude, I'm kind of creative. I don't have any clue about photography or filming. I've been on the other side of the camera, but I'm like, I should try to make something entertaining. So that way, if somebody wants, because when I was doing that race, what do? We go look for a video. Hey, I want to do Storm of the Park. Is there any videos out there? There was no videos. So I'm like, well, shit, I'm going to make my own video. So I come down there with my camera and Bill and Mandy, they're the husband and wife race directors. They're like, you're filming? I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going to make a film. Well, they were so thrilled that I made a film. They just were tickled. And I know that people now have watched that film before they run that race. Probably were like bored with me, but at least they got to see the course. And I try to make them entertaining. So I started doing that for some of the races. I did that one. I did um Backcountry Rise out in Seattle. I did that one. There's one on the North Shore of Lake Superior that I did. And so I start doing that and I like it and I'm enjoying that. And then about a year, 2 years later, I'm running with my buddies Eric and Mario. And I'm like, there's here was the thing. There was a podcast before you and I. Who paved the way for us was Mr. Ben Mead, buddy of mine. The podcast was called Chasing Cutoffs, if you've ever heard it. And I
Yeah.
remember I found that thing and I was like, oh God, this is my dude. This is my dude. He's interviewing people that don't finish last. And he's really creative guy. I mean, he and I have since become friends. I visited him when I was out in Seattle in August with my wife and we got together. But and then he stopped doing his podcast. Stuff in life happens and, he went a different direction and got busy and doing other things. So I was like, I hadn't discovered Joe Hardin yet. I hadn't discovered the Everyday Athlete podcast network. So I'm creative. I've got all this, recording equipment from back in the day when I made music. I'm like, well, that shit's collecting dust. I can talk. I like to talk. I'm an actor. Let me try do a podcast. And so I just started doing it and people were like, it was funny. I did the first one and my wife's friend who I've had on the podcast, her name is Dee, listened to it and they're like, you have a decent podcast voice. And I'm like, oh, maybe I've found my calling. Maybe it's a podcast at age 57. So I don't do as many as you guys do because I'm busy, and um I don't know how you guys get all the talent book that you do. That's crazy. That's a full-time job. Ben Mead said that too. It's like booking the talent, finding the interviews is half the battle. So I do every other week, and sometimes might miss a week or whatever, do what I can. But I really enjoy it. I like you. I love talking to people. I love finding, and a lot of it are people I know. It's race directors, Bill and Mandy, friends. And then I've, of course, reached out to Tim Tollefson and said, I know you'll say no, but I have to send this email. And sure as shit, he responded and said, I'm a guy who says yes, so let's do it. But I just enjoy talking to people. I enjoy discovering, what makes them tick. And I've done some that have very little to do with running or trail running. So it's fun getting to know people.
Yeah, it really is. It's fun getting to know people. It's a running pod. We host a running podcast, but I really have been enjoying getting to know people, like even outside of who they are as a runner, because it's cool. It's like we're all so complex, and it's easy to like put someone in a box and be like, well, you're a runner, and then you find out like that they love coffee or photography or
Debate.
this, yeah, or debate. Yeah, they're on the debate club. So otherwise you would never know these things about people, and it's kind of cool, like kind of peeling the layers back on people, even if it's only for like an hour or so. It's just, yeah, and it's a
Yeah.
bucket filler.
Yeah.
Um,
And we all have things, especially when it comes to running that we can relate to. Oh, you did that with your knee. Oh, you tried those shoes. What do you think of those shoes? And it's just really fun to be part of that community and have a live conversation. And yeah, I enjoy
yeah.
it.
So what I'm curious about though, Joey, is so far with your podcasting journey, what is something that you feel like you've learned about other people hosting the show, or something maybe you've learned about yourself along the way since you've been hosting Running Behind?
The the one thing I would say that kind of across the board I've learned is that everybody has something they're working on. We interview people and we think, oh, you've done this many races, you must feel really good. Nope. Here's my issue. We've all got something that we're trying to improve, trying to work on. And the other thing, Joe, is we've all got a backstory. We've all got something, and maybe you think the same thing. When I interview trail runners and even just runners or non-runners, but especially trail runners, you ask the question, how did you get onto the trail? How did you get here? What brought you here? And everybody's got a different backstory. And so that's what I've learned, is that we've all got something different, and we've all got something that we're working on, trying to improve, trying to get better at, no matter who we are.
Yeah, absolutely. That is fun, like to learn. Like I always take a little bit of a lesson from everybody too, whenever I hear like their backstory and something I kind of carry with me, I guess, even after the show is over, with that person. But yeah, cool. Yeah, great, good insight.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so something I know we have to talk about
Yes.
is I want to hear. I'm infinitely curious about this event that you just did, Joey. I almost couldn't contain myself to ask it from the get go. But Mammoth, I need
Oh,
to hear more about this.
oh, Mammoth. It has haunted me. It's like I wanted to do it since it first came out. Of course, I'm a free trail guy, and so I've heard Tim Tollefson on with Dylan talking about Mammoth when he first created it, and then I went to the website, and I'm like, holy! And then there was a video that Ryan Thrower and Tim did back in the day when Tim was trying to go back to Western states, and they filmed it all in the Sierras there by Mammoth Lakes where Tim lives. And I was like, oh my God, where is that? And because I had never been there, and I'm like, that's incredible. Well, it turns out it's the trails around Mammoth Trail Fest, events. And so I'm like, I gotta go, and was signed up last year. And you've heard this story. My dog Ricky got sick. We have two Cocker Spaniels, and he got sick with kidney disease, and it was bad. He wasn't eating at all. And so I had to cancel, and Tim's like, that's fine, come back in 2025. And I'm like, yep, I'll come back. We're going to drive Ricky out, Ricky and his sister Lexi. We're going to drive him out. And so Ricky did really well. And he passed away in June. He's a once in a lifetime dog. We've got a new little guy that my heart's already completely completely whipped over. But Ricky was a once in a lifetime dog, and I still get choked up about it. So he passed away 2 days after I did an interview with Tim. So we didn't drive him out. We drove Lexi out, but we came out there, and my wife came with, and we love driving. We love seeing the country. It's America. If you get the chance to drive through it, or rather than fly, it's just incredible. We love seeing everything. Every state is different. We love it. So we drove out there with little Lexi, and I got there, Joe, and it was everything I expected. We rented a little like apartment right near the village there, and it's just all lit up. It looks like Chamonix. It's just incredible. Of course, you've got massive Mammoth Mountain looming behind you, and I'm just like, oh my God. And they do a ton of fun stuff. It's like almost a whole week long. So we got there on Monday. By Tuesday or Wednesday, they're setting up the whole village with all the stuff. Mountain Outpost is there filming, so they've got their van, all their drones and camera people and stuff. Jamil's there, and they start Thursday morning with a giant expo. So it's sponsored by Kraft and Lecky and all these goo and all these sponsors. So they have all their booths set up. They have huge discounts. You get to meet people. They've got fun stuff going on. There's a film festival at night. I did a shakeout run with all the people from Kraft on Thursday morning. That's where I met Ryan Thrower. We're best friends now. Not really. Probably doesn't remember me, but we did have a nice little chat. I know Billy Yang is one of your heroes. I met Billy Yang, and
Jealous.
I thought of you. I met Billy. He was at the opening night ceremony. So this would have been Thursday night going into Friday. Tim had this wonderful Hispanic dance troupe, and standing behind me, right behind me, is Billy and Hillary. And I'm like, I don't want to be a nuisance. I don't want to be this, weird fanboy. So I waited till everything was done. I turned around, he's still there. And I'm like, okay, I gotta say hi. And I'm like, excuse me, hello. And I'm talking to him, and I'm like, I have to say thank you. I'm like, you're one of the reasons I'm here. You're literally one of the reasons I got interested in trail running and was inspired to push myself. And then I started crying. I'm such an emotional guy. I start crying, and Billy stops me. He goes, can I just give you a hug? And I'm like, yes, please.
Oh, wow.
He's just the sweetest guy. And I got this great picture with him. But so, I mean, that's the thing about Mammoth Trail Fest. Everybody's freaking there. And I know they weren't Golden Trail Series this year. I think they're trying to bring it back for next year. They weren't on the circuit, but still everybody is there. And it's the first year of Mammoth 200. So you have all of those people there. So it's this party atmosphere, probably like Javelina, I imagine would be, where you've got all these people, everyone's hanging out. I have fans. Who knew I had podcast fans? Blake Borrego and his girlfriend Alyssa were there. I met them. And then it's just such a blast. So then each day is a different event. The first day, Friday, is the Dragon's Back Ascent. So they do 3 races. Well, they do more than 3 races. They do like a 10K at night. But the 3 main races are the Dragon's Back Ascent, the Mammoth 50K, and then the Mammoth 26K. And each one of those races, you have to climb Mammoth Mountain. You have to climb 11,053 feet in the middle of it. So Dragon's Back Ascent, obviously, you're just climbing up and then you're done. That's Friday morning. Oh my God, Joe, the professionals, they got done in like 35 minutes. I interviewed this 81-year-old lady, Margie Golby. She was like the highlight of the week for me. The night before her daughter was doing it, she was like, I'm going to do it. So she signs up for it, takes her 2 hours and 40 minutes, and she does it. She's one of the last to finish. And Tim's up there at the top with the giant cowbell, encouraging her the last 10 steps, but she finishes it. So that's the first race, Dragon's Back Ascent. And you basically 3 miles, 3,000 feet up climbing. And the next day is the 50K. That is about 32 miles and 7,000 feet of climbing. Right in the middle of it, you climb Mount Mammoth. And the problem with that race for me, well, not for a lot of people finished it. The problem for me and some other people is that they have they've got cutoffs. It's a 12-hour cutoff for the whole race. And you and I would look at that, and you probably more so, you'd crush that. For me, I look at that and I'm like, that's 12 hours for a 50K. That's a lot of time. Now you got to climb 7,000 feet. Okay, that's not as much time as we'd like, but still achievable. Still something I looked at and went, and I actually, I wasn't ready for the Olympics, but I had done a lot of climbing on the treadmill, and I've got a little ski hill here, and I was ready, and I felt good. I didn't have any knee issues all day. But the cutoff at the top of the mountain is too short. You have 7 hours to get to the top, and then 5 hours to do the last, which is all mostly downhill. You go back up a little, you gain about 800 feet in total after that, but it's almost all downhill. And 7 hours, I was 7 hours and 13 minutes. So I missed the cutoff by 13 minutes at the top.
Oh man.
So I was so bummed because I literally I had run 18 miles, 5,100 feet of climbing, and I was ready to go. I got cut off, took the gondola back down. I told my wife, I'm like, I feel like I should go run a 50K tomorrow because I'm not even sore. I'm not even tired. But 13 minutes. So I mean, that's a whole podcast itself. I've talked about it on mine, but I look back at it and I was like, I took too long in the bathrooms at the aid stations. I took too much time making a film, talking, chatting, taking photos. I did not, and it's at altitude. So I live, what are you at? Are you at, I'm at like 800 feet. I'm basically sea level here in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I'm pretty close to about the same here.
Yeah. So, for those races for us, it's a challenge. It wasn't an ungodly challenge. I could have pushed harder. I absolutely could have pushed myself harder. I didn't. I also didn't bring enough fuel. So I was using the aid station fuel, and I was thinking, oh, they're going to have pancakes and bacon and all that kind of stuff like a lot of some of our local trail races do. No, they didn't. They did at the top of the mountain, but I missed that one by 13 minutes. So no pancakes for me. So I learned some lessons, and I'm like, I absolutely can cut off a half an hour and do better next year. So that's what happened to me on the 50K. The final day is the 26K. Now here's the race for us, Joe. 26K. So how many miles is that? It's probably like 15 miles, I think.
15.
They give you 7 hours for that, for the whole race. So we get 7 hours. So already your pace per mile, this is the first thing I look at when I sign up for a race. I'm like, okay, what is my pace per mile I have to do? What's the climbing, and see if it's achievable. And that one, you get like 25 minutes per mile to do that.
Oh
And I'm
wow.
like,
Okay.
oh, that's totally achievable. And you get 3.5 hours to go just 7 miles up to the top. And I'm like, well, that's the race for me. The big race, you have to average 20-minute miles, which is achievable, but not the first half. The first half, I think I averaged 21-minute miles or whatever it was because I was 13 minutes over. So the 26K is on the third day, and then they do like a fun 10K at night, some fun other little things, races for the kids. If you've got young kids, they do like a 1K for the kids, and then just stuff the whole time. And there's a lot of great food there, fun things to see. My wife and I drove to Yosemite. There's a lot of national parks near there that you can check out, and it's just absolutely wonderful. And the temperature is cool. It's the Sierras. It's in September, so you're talking 60 degrees. It's just
Oh wow.
absolutely wonderful. And then we didn't stick around for the 200-mile race. We had to leave the next day after my race, but I guess that's outstanding too. everyone that I talked to that was involved with that or watched it just thought that was incredible. So you're thinking about doing it?
Yeah, like obviously I was curious about it, but watching some of your, I think I'm gonna have to try this, and watching all the coverage. But so it's gonna be on my to-do list very soon because I need a good mountain race in my life. I think pretty soon. So
Yeah, this is the one. And the mountains before Mount Mammoth, that's totally in your wheelhouse, no problem. Mount Mammoth, which you go up, they call it Dragon's Back Ascent, is the nastiest trail you've ever seen in your life. I am scared of heights, but I've done the Grand Canyon and I was fine. Um, this thing scared the shit out of me, Joe. And I'm like talking to like the 81-year-old lady, and she's like, "Oh, it was kind of scary." And the next day I'm on there, I'm like, "Holy crap, how does she do this?" Because you're literally scrambling, you're 10,000 plus feet up, you're scrambling over rocks that are loose, and any wrong turn, you're gonna plunge 3,000 feet to your death. And you're just like, and you're also, you've already run 17 miles at this point. So it's like, yeah, but it's the ultimate challenge. It is, yeah, it's the race. It's the one.
heck yeah, yeah. I love the
So
sound of it. I love it. Yeah, go ahead, Joey.
no, I was just gonna say, so next year, like you didn't get through your 100-mile race, so you immediately signed up. Well, not immediately, you signed up for a 300 plus mile race. That's what we do, right? We scare the shit out
Yeah.
of
Oh yeah.
ourselves. So I think I'm signing up for all three races next year. Um the and here's my plan, here's my thinking, here's my rationale. You might think I'm crazy, but I know I can get up the mountain. I've got 2.5 hours to do the Dragon's Back ascent, no problem. I get my medal. Great, done it. Climb the mountain. I got a medal from Tim. I'm all good. The next day is a 50K. I know with the right plan. Now I know what I'm getting into. I know I can get rid of those 13 plus minutes. And so I would do that. But if I had a problem, the easy peasy race is the 26K, right? We get 7 hours, easy peasy. So that's my backup. So that's why I would sign up for all three.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, that's I align with that. It's like if something goes wrong, just sign it, just full send and do the whole thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. That's exciting. That's exciting.
We had a great time. It's a beautiful area, and that time of year is the perfect time to be out there. So we wouldn't drive back out. We would fly out, but definitely on the radar to go back next year.
Yeah, I was listening to you tell a story about driving out there. I'm just like, that is a lot of time on the road. So I'd probably have to fly too. Like, I
Yeah.
think I can drive about 12 hours before I'm like, all right, that's it. Like I'm done for the year.
Yeah. And even with two of us, we both love to drive. We do like 2-3 hour shifts and then we switch. Even that, like, 8-9 hours a day is about all we can take. So then it takes you 4 days, and we're just like, that's a bit much. So
That's exciting. You'll get your medal next year for sure.
I'm gonna,
Absolutely.
I'm getting a medal. If I got to steal one late at night, I'll have you make me one. You can make a replica one. I'll send you pictures. Joe,
True.
just change something a little bit
True.
so they know it's a forgery, so it's not too obvious. Uh,
That's good stuff.
yeah.
Well, yeah. So outside of that, what do you next? What's on the horizon for you? Got anything coming up or?
So what I've got coming up, yeah, talking with Eric and Mario, we're talking about next year in April doing Storm the Park. Was kind of that was like my second trail race. Those guys have never been down there. It's beautiful. Bill and Mandy Hansel, they're Midwest race directors. They're building an empire. They're basically Aravaipa of the Midwest now. They're
Ooh,
picking up all these races, and they have a wonderful charity. They raise money for youth mental illness programs and projects. So they're making a difference with their races as well. But so we're gonna do that one, probably the 25K. Hopefully it won't take me 7 hours this time, and my camera equipment won't bust in the middle of the race. So we're gonna do that. I am scheduled, get this, to pace Ben Mead at Cocodona 250.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
he did it a couple of years ago, and that's I'll have to send you a link to his podcast he did on it, but quite an adventure. He ended up helping out somebody. The beginning of the race was this whole thing. He was chasing cutoffs appropriately so. And then last year he paced a friend of ours, Tony Gillum, who back of the back guy from Alaska. He finished it. He was near the back. I know the film crew this last year, they were following the back of the pack and they were following Tony. So I'm anxious to see that film. So Ben decides he's going to do it next year. So Tony and I are going to help crew and pace him. So I texted him the other day. I haven't heard back yet. So I don't know how his training is going. Maybe he's having second thoughts. I don't know. But my plan is this. I already have an airline ticket bought. So I will pace him or I will go out there and volunteer and just be part of the experience. It's not a race that I would, and I got to ask you about Ball State 500, but it's not a race that I would do. I'm not ready for that. I don't think. I know there's not a lot of running in it, but I just don't think I could stay on my feet for 5 days. So pacing, crewing, that's fine. Being involved with it. Maybe I'll sign up and don't they do like an 80K? They do like 4 or 5 different races now.
Yeah, there's a few different. There's like a 125, and then I think they
Yeah.
do an 80K. I think you're right. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so that's
Either
the
way. I mean,
plan.
just yeah, it'd be cool just to experience it. To your point, though.
Yeah. So that's the plan for that. Do that, and then I'm doing. My friend David runs Fans Ultra event, which is 12 and 24 hours. It's the one that goes the 2 mile loop around the lake. I'm signing up for 24 hours, and
Heck yeah.
gonna probably do a lot of walking and probably take some naps, and do some eating in between laps. Take my time. My goal is to try to get to 100 kilometers. Boy, if I'm really doing well, maybe 75 miles would be great. But see if I have friends and family that want to come out and just walk with me or jog with me for a lap or two. But I'm going to do
Yeah.
that one, and then back to Mammoth in September, and the rest of it is up in the air. I don't know. So
Cool. You'll love the 24-hour format is a lot of fun. It's like you can really set some milestones, but also it's like the pressure isn't like there. And if it's a loop, like you said, you don't have to worry about like it's really
yep.
cool. Like that's probably one of my favorite things is like the 24-hour thing it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I
So
feel
you'll have
like
a
I
good
can
time.
manage so much better. Like I've done, like you mentioned the Icebox 480, which is an 8 hour event. I feel like I can manage my injuries and my cramps and all that, and everything's so much better because it's like, yeah, get into a routine. Okay, at this aid station, I stop, I drink this much, eat this, do this, stop at my tent, change shoes, towel off, all of that. I just really can control my body a lot better and usually feel a lot more comfortable at the end of those.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to find a few 24 hours to do this year. That's kind of what I think I'm going to focus on time things this year. That's going to be kind of my goal. Maybe some
It's
24 or 48-hour things, but
it's really for those of us um that do chase cutoffs, they're the best events because no one's cutting
yeah.
us off, Joe, because we run 12 hours or 24 hours or 8 hours and see how many miles we can get. Nobody cares. No one's cutting you off. You can, and I've done these events like, I had a dinner appointment, so I stopped at 8 hours. I got to go. Sorry. Had a great day. Had fun. I'm out of here. So I really enjoy them as a cutoff chaser, to not feel that pressure and just have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, something I couldn't do, Joey, without having you on the podcast, I can't not ask a music question, right?
All
So,
right. All right.
what what has been in your what have you been listening to? Or what's been in your earbuds lately?
Well, I got the shirt on.
Oh, a Foo Fight. I didn't see that.
So
Nice.
and you and I have messaged. So I am not a music aficionado like you guys are with your, what's in your earbuds and all of that. I actually I don't. I listen very rarely. Do I have my earbuds, and I use the, what are they called? The shocks or whatever, the ones that are
Yeah.
open ear. I use those if I'm out on a trail run, and I usually don't listen to music because I like to just hear the sounds, and I'm slow. I like, people come behind me and will trample me over if I'm not listening. So I don't listen a lot, but my music tastes, and I used to listen when I first started running, it was all um like rock and roll, a lot of Pink, I would say. Of course, I've got the shirt on. I'm a huge Foo Fighters fan. So if we're just talking like music I like,
Yeah.
Foo Fighters is up there. I love Pink. She's one of my favorites. I've seen her in concert several times. Um, and then I'm all over the place, kind of like you are. Bluegrass. I grew up in a house where my dad listened to country music and bluegrass in the 70s. So when I play music, it's not really bluegrass, but acoustic. And I do get kind of bluegrassy with some of the stuff I play and write. So that's in there. And then if I'm doing any kind of workout or weightlifting, it's just full heavy metal. We're talking Black Label Society. My buddy
Heck yeah.
Zach. I
I love
mean,
Black Label Society.
I'm yeah, I actually met him a couple of times. He's come and done little venues here in the Twin Cities and done little VIPs where you can meet him and stuff. He's quite the character, Zach Wild. But
That's
yeah,
cool.
kind of all over the place with that. Folk stuff to rock and roll to bluegrass to Foo Fighters. I mean, Foo Fighters is going to be up there as one of my favorites, I guess.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I just noticed it. There's a guitar behind you.
Yeah,
Wow. Cool.
I now, in full transparency, I have not written music or played much in quite a while. Too many hobbies and not enough time. But in back in the day, I did a lot of music playing and some recording and stuff. So yeah,
I was never very good at it, but I do have a guitar. I barely break it out, but I've got this old oh damn, I forget the name of it. It's a Lyle. Sorry, it's
oh
the
yeah,
F-150. It was my mom's guitar in the '60s, and so I break that thing every once in a while. I try to play a few chords or whatever, but
yeah.
never been very good at it. But music's always just kind of been a love of mine. Even though I can't play it, just a love of mine, I guess. But
Music is great. It's my wife and I both love music. She's really talented. She plays the piano and she'll hear like Brandy Carlisle's new album. She'll listen to it and she reads music, but she'll listen to it and she'll just sit down. She's got a piano upstairs and she'll just start like playing it, singing it. And I'm like, oh my God. She's I thought I was talented. She's super talented with that. Yeah, she's really good. Yeah, we
that's
love
cool.
music. I mean, I don't listen to a lot of it on, when I'm running, but music is a big part of our lives. We do love music a lot. So
Heck yeah, cool. Well, Joey, I appreciate you coming on. This has been awesome. I've had a lot of you. Maybe we're gonna have to find something because we're not. I mean, we're not
it,
that far away
I
from each
know,
other.
I know. I didn't get to ask. We got to do another podcast because I wanted to ask you how your race directing went. I
Oh
mean, I
yeah, yeah.
followed it on Instagram. How did that go?
It was awesome. It was like I said. I want to have a whole podcast about what I learned and what
Okay.
went down that day. Um, yeah. So yeah, obviously we can talk about that. But it was amazing. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like it's taken me a really long time to unpack how that day went, but it just it like overflowed my heart. Like just seeing what I saw. It's like I had I had like a vision in mind of how I wanted the day to go, and it didn't go the way I wanted to. But what I mean by that is it was just so amazing. Like it was just eye opening. Like I didn't realize what I had created, and it wasn't that I did anything. I created a stage, and the community showed up, and the amazing way they do, and
Yeah.
it blew my mind. Like I've been trying to like articulate how I felt about it, and I'm gonna keep chasing it. We
Right.
2026 signups are open because people were asking me that day, "Are you gonna do this next year?" I'm like, "Yeah." After what I just saw, for sure. Like we had an adaptive athlete there that did a 50K. We
Wow.
had a visually impaired runner with a guide do a marathon. It was just it was just how it is when you're just like overwhelmed with like all the feels, and
Yeah.
it was a lot of hard work, and to see it come together, because it's, I mean, up until the last minute, it's just like we weren't even sure if it was going to happen, because it was just
Wow.
a lot of stuff.
Wow.
So it was incredible. I'm
I,
looking forward to another year, and I've got some other ideas that I'm kicking around too that will be time stuff. But
That's awesome. I was super excited for you. I like just hearing about it. I'm like, oh God, that sounds stressful. All the things that go into it. But I was seeing your post on Instagram. I was like, oh, I was so glad it went well for you. And then I do have to ask you, you know, here's what I want to do, Joe, next year. When is the Vol State 500K? When does that happen?
July 9th through the 19th.
Okay. Before you go out there, I want to get you and Wes on a podcast. And we can host it on. I know you had him on recently. I want to get the two of you on and do a pre-Vol State podcast with you guys. Joe, did you cut out?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And I was going to ask you, so the Vol State, what's the difference between the last annual Heart of the South Road race and the Vol State 500? Aren't they both the same? Is that the same race or is that a different race? What's the difference?
Um, the Heart of the South is a different route, and apparently it's much more isolated.
Okay.
Last annual Vol State, it's a little bit more established, so there's more like road angels. So there's like you
Okay.
can't have crew, but you can stop at these like angel stations. And Vol State's been taking the same route ever since its inception. So like
Okay.
apparently the like all the people in the different towns get together and like let you, like they'll have like cots and like tents for you and
Okay.
aid. And my understanding is Heart of the South, that route is not known until you leave that day.
Okay.
So
They're both
I
Laz though, right? They're both put on
they're
by
both,
Laz.
yeah, they're both put on by Laz. But
Okay.
um so
A
this will
guy I
be
know, John Taylor has done Heart of the South a bunch of
okay.
times, and I think he's done Vol State too. I think he
Okay.
volunteers with Laz or knows him somewhat, but yeah, that just sounds crazy, Joe. I can't believe you guys are doing that. I can't wait to
Yeah, I don't
watch.
know what. It's been
It's
fun.
so
It's been
cool.
fun training. Yeah, I've been training totally different, and I'm having a really good time training for
Yeah.
this thing. I've Instead of like the typical, training that I normally do, I've been making my long runs a little adventure, and I've been taking off with a debit card and my pack and just like running these routes using gas stations as aid, and I've been having a lot of fun. So,
That is
um,
awesome. That is so
yeah,
cool. And your run commuting, I just think that's awesome. You're doing that every day. You're so consistent.
yep.
You're gonna be ready for this thing, man. You're gonna totally do it. So I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I feel really good about, like, I don't know what it was, like, the idea of pinning on another bib for a 100 miler just wasn't speaking to me, and I don't know what made me decide to put my name in the lottery for Vol State, but I got picked, so here we go.
It's an adventure. It's the unknown. You know what it is, Joe? You're gonna leap and the net will appear. That's what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. Heck yeah. Nice, yeah, nice way to tie that together too. I love that.
Uh,
But yeah, we'll have to find something where we can maybe link up and run something together, 'cause,
yeah.
that'd be fun. Yeah, we'll have to put something on the calendar sometime soon, and
So maybe we'll have to meet in the
that
middle in like Illinois or something. We'll find a race. But
yeah,
yeah, definitely.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it'd be fun to share some miles. Well, Joey, like I said, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a joy. Um, like I said, ever since I talked to you on the pod, it's been really fun following you and getting to know you. It's been an absolute blast, man. I love what you're doing with the podcast. When I mean it when I say I love that. I love your podcast. So
I I
yeah, man. So
I
keep
appreciate that, Joe. Coming from you, that's a huge honor. I am just absolutely tickled that you had me on your podcast. I don't hold a candle to any of your recent guests, but I was thrilled that you asked me, and
oh man.
I'd come on anytime you need me to. So it was awesome.
Oh, cool. It was an absolute honor. Well, yeah. So thank you, Joey, and thank you everybody who listened. Do me a favor and do Joey a favor. Follow Joey on Instagram. check out the Running Behind podcast. You will not be disappointed. It's such a great show. It's genuine conversations. It's the conversations that you would be having with people at the finish line. And that's kind of what I love about this show, and that's what I love about Joey's show. So definitely check that show out. Joey, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was a delight, and thank you all who are listening. And I will see you all next time beyond the finish line.